And from the boys finale to the final boy back in action, Josh is here with another gaming update. It's been a while, an extra week he's made us wait because he's been moving. He thinks it's a good enough excuse. We disagree, but he is here.
The final boy. I'm not sure I'm the final boy, but I enjoyed the segment anyway. Yep, I am back. New office, as you can see. So we're going to have two... When was the last episode? Summer Games Fest
5
special?
weeks ago.
Summer Game Fest one, yeah.
And to be honest, we haven't missed a lot.
No.
It's been a bit of a slow transition from Summer Games Fest until now. There's been a few games come out that we did discuss in the last episode. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, which I was very much looking forward to. 95 it is sitting out on a Metacritic as of today. I'm probably 3-4 hours into it. It's probably my game of the year, even though it's not technically a game, it's a DLC. Fantastic.
I greatly enjoyed watching some of the streamers I enjoy watching playing through that DLC. It was a lot of fun.
It is incredible. Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2, which we discussed quite a bit on the previous episode. 80, not horrendous. I like the first game, haven't got around to playing this one, which it is on Game Pass, so I'll get around to it at some point. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD 78, which I think is quite low for a Mario Nintendo game. Once Human, Horror, you're going to have to talk to us about this one, maybe in a bit, because we are going to ask what you have been playing, but that's at a 62. Immediate thought on that score?
I think fair. Okay. Maybe a little. I'd be somewhere around the mid-range on the score, so yeah, I think that's fairly
quite
fair.
Accurate. Yeah, it's fair enough. And the First Descendant, which I thought we might check out as a score, it's got a 57, so I'm not 100% sure anymore.
57 is a honking score.
Yeah, I know. It's just I've seen some gameplay on it. It's like a looter shooter.
I know why this is. Partly the monetization is egregious, and the servers had a terrible launch. On top of that,
the First Descendant the game that's had a bit of controversy as well, because it says we will give your ID to the government if they ask.
No,
but people didn't read the terms of service right.
That's Once Human.
Oh,
because it's a live
Once Human had
service.
that drama.
Yeah.
Even though that drama does make no sense if I've understood it correctly, because you don't have to give them your ID. Yeah,
well,
you don't have to give them your ID.
Purely
just if
for China.
They will give it to the government. Okay, cool.
And Once Human
so that's
also
probably
got social. It was like the social media thing as well. It's like, people are like, they're stealing our social media. It's like, yeah, if you want the rewards for linking your social media, they're going to get the information from your social media because you've linked to your social. It's like people just.
That's just people being stupid by anything else, I think.
It seems like people have chosen a random Tuesday to realise that when you give companies your data, they're selling it. And now they're deciding everything that's happened in the past wasn't that, and it's only just started literally today. It's like, no, it's been this way for 10 years. You guys are late to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, 57 and 62 on those last two games, which isn't the most ideal, but yet to release this month. Again, like I say, it's quite slow. August, next month's episode is going to be a banger. So I'm very much looking forward to that. We've got EA Sports College Football coming out tomorrow. I'm ready. I've got my LSU cap on. I will be there day one. It's pre-installed, ready to go. Catch me there tomorrow. Flintlock Siege of Dawn, as we're recording it, comes out today. It is on Game Pass day one. It's one that I had on my list from a showcase quite a while ago. I'm pretty sure it was an Xbox One. So I'm looking forward to that. One that Luke will enjoy, F1 Manager 24. Not a bit of us.
No.
I'm pretty sure 23rd of July. That's probably going to get pretty good review scores, I could imagine.
I think considering the F1 24 or whatever that came out had a bit of a mixed thing, this might do better.
I feel like Manager Sim games always do fairly well, don't they?
Manager Sim games are them games that always sell really well, but never get a lot of chat because they have such a dedicated fan base that play them every year and don't
they just are what they
kick
are,
up too much of a fuss. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough, can't go wrong. Announcements, news, and updates. Like I say, it's been fairly slow, but one of them, which I found quite cool, which I might utilise, the ability to now play Xbox games through TV Amazon Fire Sticks. I have a Fire Stick in the living room. I don't have an Xbox when I play Xbox games. I use my PC. There is one caveat. You need the 2023 edition of the 4K Fire Stick. So it's basically just a new one. They were probably on sale the last couple of days as we're recording on Prime Day. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I think they've even now released a bundle, which is the No Xbox bundle. And it is literally a controller, a Fire Stick, and a years of Game Pass or something.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's 60 quid for the Fire Stick you need by itself. It's definitely an option. Even if it's just for, like, if you're someone who travels a fair bit for work, you could literally, a Fire Stick takes up that much room, a controller takes up that much. You can throw that in your suitcase and you have something to do in your evenings.
Well, they had the thing, didn't they, with was it Samsung TVs?
Yeah.
And this is like the next step. I mean, at this point, I'm just like, can we get it on a Google Chromecast? Considering Google scrapped the Stadia and all their cloud gaming, just work with Xbox to do it.
Yeah, I've not tried Xbox Cloud Gaming in about a year and a half, so I don't know how much better it's got. It was surprisingly good about a year and a half ago when I tried it. I wouldn't want to play anything on like a multiplayer game with it, but for story games or single-player sports games, you can make it work. So if that continues to improve and it becomes more widely available at the same time, it's very quickly going to become a very enticing option for a lot of people.
I feel like it's one of them ones that a lot of people are going to see it, and like a lot of the general Xbox fans, maybe kids and stuff, are going to see it and be like, yeah, I want to try that out, and realize their internet might not be strong enough. It is one of them ones,
especially in the UK.
Yeah,
of the developed world, we have pretty poor internet in most of the country.
True.
And I think us as a country might struggle with that.
I think the success and reviews of it are going to be very person to person, depending on how strong the signal is in your house. Because I can imagine anyone trying to run up a game and just pixelating everywhere isn't going to be the best. But I think overall, I mean, I'm definitely going to try and utilize it in the living room. Leave a controller down there.
Yeah,
be able to play on the big screen. I can't see any negatives to it myself.
Yeah, completely agree.
And then following on from college football, that is dropping tomorrow, it passed 700k concurrent players during early access. So the game, for those who pre-ordered it on Monday, it became available. Servers died day one, as you can imagine. I don't think they expected 700,000 people trying to get on all at once. For a sports game outside of FIFA, I feel like that's mad numbers. I couldn't imagine Madden ever doing anything like that.
But I mean, EA suck. It's a sports game that lasts for a year. They're charging like an extra 30-40 quid for early access. And basically, I imagine Ultimate Team's also in this, like it is in all of their sports games. Yeah, cool. So what they've done is you're going to pay an extra 30 quid to get access to our Ultimate Team, so that you can get a week ahead of everyone else. And in reality, they've just squeezed 30 quid out of everyone. It annoys me. I dislike the concept of early access.
Fair.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I ain't got much more to add to that unless you have already.
But EA are going to be rubbing their grubby little mitts at 700,000. That is
100%.
Insane numbers for early access.
Sales figures on that. And then tomorrow's numbers just going to boost as well, aren't they?
I also had some of the big streamers playing it, didn't it? So that'll have helped.
And you got to remember, it's only on Xbox and PS5 at the minute. No old gen, no PC. So just console, that's pretty...
No PC at launch is crazy.
Yeah, and that is a strange one. Which, if anything, makes that 700k more impressive.
We've also got to remember, like, 700k is going to be inflated by how long it's been since the college football game was released.
10, 11 years,
wasn't this first one in ages? So
2014 was the last one.
So you've got $30 difference between the standard and deluxe. Did you get early access with the deluxe?
Yes.
Okay, so an extra $30, 30 times 700,000. Like, that's what? Is that 31 million or 3.1 million?
No idea.
I honestly don't even know. Pause.
I have A-level maths, but no idea.
Go
on, Mr. Accountant, yeah. Where's the quick maths from you?
I need my Excel sheet open.
It needs some function.
He's a fraud.
Only knows how to do maths in Excel.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
It's $21 million extra. that's on top of like the $70 the game is already.
Pocket change for EA, that.
Bonkers.
That is bonkers. Insanity.
Would you also say that college football in general is more popular now than when the last one was out. I feel like
No, I don't think it is.
no.
I think it's more
always
globally
been big, isn't it?
popular.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's definitely going to do better outside the States than it ever used to.
Hmm.
But I imagine inside the States, any bump will just be because of how long it's been since the last one came out.
Cool.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to open the floor to you boys. What have we been playing recently? I can't even remember what we would have been playing from the last episode. It was probably just X-Defiant at the time.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember any other games.
I was
really
also
piquing our
playing a fair
interest
bit
at
of
the time.
Starfield.
Yeah,
Because
we
they've
had the
released their big
DLC.
update.
Yeah.
DLC's not till later this year. It was
Okay.
just a big quality of life update. Just more X-Defiant. I've also downloaded Cricket 24, which is now on Game Pass. Coming into the summer, I'm such a certain times of year I like rotate sports games. So Cricket 24, especially after the heartbreak of the Euros, I was like, bun off football. Let me just play something else for a
Don't want
while.
any more football.
So yeah, it's good. Cricket, the people who make the cricket games do what I've been begging other sports games to do for a while, and they don't do yearly releases. I think they're on a 2 or 3 year cadence at the moment, which allows them to really make meaningful improvements from game to game. And it looks like another solid entry that feels a lot more alive. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I've really been playing anything too different. I did grab a bunch of indie games in Steam Summer Sale.
Love to see it.
But I haven't got around to starting any of them yet. I need to work out what I'm doing in my life. The problem is I want to stream all of them because I'm sure they'll be fun. And I just need to bully myself into starting, and then I'll get addicted to it.
Right, Ori, we know what we need to do, mate. We need to bully him. But Ori, I'm going to need the Once Human breakdown.
So I picked up Once Human on Sunday purely because I've been playing Rust again. That's yeah. And God knows, last week had probably one of my best ever Rust wipes. It was great.
Yeah.
Loved
You
it.
were very excited with this wipe.
Had a great wipe. One of the best you could say.
That's
this
a
week,
bad sentence, isn't it?
yeah. After 1,000 hours, finally had a great wipe. Then this week, absolute worst wipe ever. Me and my mates it's one of those games where it's just like sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. So by Saturday we were all like, yeah, we're fed up with this. Like, so then we were like, oh, Once Human's out, my mate was like, I've downloaded it. You lot should. As an MMO, it feels like it pulls a lot of things from different games, which is cool. It has some like little things from New World, like mechanic wise.
I've heard New World, sort of like crafting, survival-y type.
Yeah, a little bit of kind of, I guess you could say, Rust with the base building, like your general survival game with the base building stuff. And then it has like your usual MMO dungeons and stuff that you can do. I'd say overall, it's a fairly like solid groundwork. Unfortunately, it is very buggy. There is a lot of things in that game that don't, like, things in the tech tree that you unlock that don't actually work properly, or your usual things that happen with a big scale game like that was in early access. And it seems the weird thing I've found looking stuff up is people that played the beta, some of this stuff was fixed in the beta, but it seems like they've released an older build for whatever reason.
Right,
so some things no longer, like some things have rolled back, whether they weren't stable enough for like a full scale release, I don't know.
Yeah.
They must have found a really big issue and they've gone back to the last semi-stable version.
Possibly. I'd say overall it's been fun so far, but it's like I've been playing it for a week, not obviously like non-stop, but my worry is they're doing, the big controversy that a lot of people are talking about is they're doing wipes every 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yes.
That's an odd length.
Yeah. The wipes, I get it. The maps, because you can put down your base anywhere, like you can claim like a spot of land. The starting area is just scattered, with every surface is like a half-built base where people have obviously tried the game, done the start of it, and then never got bored and left. So there's just like uninhabited like platforms everywhere of like the starts of bases and stuff. So I get it. You need to wipe. They want to clear the map, otherwise it's going to become a mess. The issue is, it's like 6 weeks is quite short. They're claiming that every wipe they're going to bring in new scenarios and new content, and that's a lot of content to be bringing out every 6 weeks to keep it feeling new and fresh. And my worry is, after maybe the second wipe, it's going to be like, hang on, this is just reskinned content the same again. Like, we're now just repeating stuff, or it's going to like be half baked. Yeah, that's my worry, and I think this game is going to live and die by this first wipe, because they've not done one yet. And
here's my question: for games like this and Rust and everything, I understand why wiping is seen as necessary, but forcing that upon your player base seems interesting, when instead you could just go, right, we're going to give you guys the ability to like take control of your own server, and then you guys can control how often you wipe, like you essentially do with a Minecraft server.
Yes, but I don't think that would work, because of the MMO aspect, and there is like world events and stuff. You lose all that if you have just running your own server on your own.
Okay,
I suppose like PvP as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm on a PvP server, which is like you have to toggle on, but
they could make it so that when you're searching for a PvP server, they could have it so you're searching for a 1 week wipe, or a 6 week wipe, or a 3 month wipe, or a 6 month wipe, and they go, this is how often we're going to wipe on this server, and then you can choose what you want to do.
I think there's better ways. I think their pure reason for doing it is to clear the map because of performance wise, and it's like whether it's a week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, like however long, like they need to do that to clear the map. I just think Rust, it works perfectly fine, because Rust is a game where it's like there is no sort of huge, there's no like you reach a point and you're kind of done. Like essentially with Rust, it's like you grind a load to get through the gear to get the better guns till you can get explosives. You raid bases, and it's like, cool, I've achieved what I'm meant to do. It's kind of what Rust is. There is other things you can be doing, but like most people's goal in a wipe is to raid a couple of bases successfully. Cool, I was the better team. We go again next time. Everyone starts fresh. In an MMO, when you're grinding for like gear and you're grinding like tech tree and tech points and stuff, it kind of, I just think they could do some sort of system. Either there's upkeep to your base that if you don't keep on top of it, it decays and disappears. Or like I've played on a DayZ server where there's like a flag that you have to raise, and if you haven't logged on for a couple of days, the flag starts lowering, and if it reaches the bottom, your base disappears. So like you could have a system like that to get rid of the people's bases that haven't been on for. But yeah, it's
so
also,
you'd rather have it with no wipes, essentially, is what you're saying.
I'm okay with like
regard.
So the wipe is apparently a soft wipe, so like you keep all your skill levels and everything unlocked, but like this is the other thing, no one really properly understands how it wipes yet, because they're like, oh, you can put all your stuff into a box in what's called a Turnerland, and then you can use the season credits in the new season content, like you can pull your stuff out, but no one knows how many like credits things are going to cost to pull back out of that. So it's like, if you're full
that
gear,
also sounds a bit pay to win, doesn't it?
Well, so it's not pay to win because it's the credits you earn in the season. So it's like,
oh, can you not buy them credits?
I don't think so.
Oh,
so,
okay, that's not too bad.
But the thing is, it's like
it can create like a rolling effect. Now, if you dump a bunch of hours in,
yeah, but I imagine it's
server with some people who haven't, you can just burn all your credits and go, I am God on this server for the next 6 weeks.
Like this is the thing. It's like, if it's your full gear set is like crazy expensive to pull out with the season credits, and it's like almost impossible to have enough, it's gonna then just feel shit.
What was the point of the grind in the first place?
Until this first wipe, this will be the deciding factor. It's also very mobile game coded with like multiple season passes and different like there's so many different like event things going on, and season and a battle pass, and there's a event shop and a normal shop, and it's like your typical mobile game, like microtransaction everything. So yeah, it's fun, but it has its issues, and I think the longevity of it is still very up in the air.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
What you been playing, Josh?
Like I mentioned, Shadow of the Erdtree. A few hours into that, I am up to the first main boss at the minute, and I played 45 minutes the other day, flat out trying to beat him. Couldn't do it. Gave up. Haven't played it since. He's just smoking me, and it was getting to the point. When you're just frustrated and you're not enjoying it anymore. I was like, no,
every day.
I need to have a break. I've actually been playing Guardians of the Galaxy.
I saw you've been playing that. I saw that on Discord.
So I passed on it at launch. I think there was other games I was playing at the time. So I finally got round to playing it. It is on PS Extra, so it's part of my membership. Thought I'd try it out, and I'm actually really enjoying it. The gameplay, I'm really enjoying the combat. I think the combat's really fun. I don't know if either of you have played it.
I played a bit of it on Game Pass, and I couldn't get on with it for some reason, and I can't remember what.
So I'm enjoying the combat. I quite like the story. It's quite janky. There'll be times when there's a cutscene playing, and Peter Quill's half in the floor, half not in the floor, and he's sort of walking through. In that respect, it's quite glitchy, but I'm having a good time with it at the minute. Obviously not finished it yet. I'm probably about halfway through, maybe. Probably at the minute I'd give it 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's nothing spectacular, but I'm having a good time with it.
Awesome.
Then as of tomorrow, I'll be playing college football. It's foreseeable. I've got my portal all ready to go. So
maybe not foreseeable. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are for the boys.
True that. First stream back next week, maybe.
Cool.
But you guys have also been playing a lot of XDefiant, right?
We have.
Yes, a boatload. After the season 1 update, we had some big issues with connectivity for a few weeks there,
Just
which
Ubisoft things.
seem to be getting better now.
Okay.
Me and Hori managed 2 full nights without any disconnects. The boys weren't so lucky, but we were.
But they're also on console, so it's...
Yeah, that's a whole different host of issues. But the game's still good. It's if they can keep the server stable so they can focus on content and quality of life stuff, the game can be really good. But it feels like at the minute they're in firefighter mode, putting out fires as they pop up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's season 1's been good. The new content's fun. I think ranked is still needs a bit more time in the oven to get to where it feels good. A big thing that I think will help that is having it so it's one agent type per team, because at the moment you get everyone
you can
runs
just stack the same one.
Yeah.
Everyone's just running mad barriers.
Which in ranked, when you're playing it in a more competitive way, does feel a bit cheese strat sort of thing. Which this happens with all games though. The first season of a ranked game is always a bit rough till it finds its groove.
Absolutely.
But yeah, overall it's been fun.
Love to see it. I will be back. My friends have been enjoying it. You guys have been enjoying it from what I can hear. So
and we played them.
Yeah, you matched up against my IRLs in rank.
The chances of that is wild.
Do you know what was so funny? Because obviously we've played Valorant with Mike. So I killed him off rip on spawn. I was like, I've killed Evil Toast or Evil Toaster. I was like, wait, no, that was Evasive Toast, and I didn't even think anything of it until I saw your message. I was like, wait, oh my god,
you do recognise the name.
Yeah, I was like, that name felt familiar, and I couldn't work out why. No, that was very, very funny.
Love it. Right, topic of the pod. I have incorporated with a news story that broke last week, I want to say.
Yeah.
So how much can Xbox raise the price of Game Pass before it becomes a problem? I'm going to pull from Antonio Pequeno at... Oh, I've lost my source. It was from Forbes. I just didn't write it down. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate monthly price will jump from $16.99 to $19.99. PC Game Pass will increase from $9.99 to $11.99. This is dollars, by the way. And the new tier called Xbox Game Pass Standard will be available to players in the near future at $14.99. Although this one will not include day one titles, which to me is a little bit strange.
I assume that is very much for people who are like just backlog gamers, and they're like, I never get to play anything on day one anyway, so I'll save myself $5 a month. Well, and I guess the real question is, how long after day one do you get access to it? Is it literally just you don't get day one? Because if you're only a day late, that's worth $5 for most people.
Nah, it'll be longer than that. it'll probably be like a
so,
month.
right? That's the question.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I think if I don't know, the standard one it doesn't feel like a huge price difference for the. I don't know why. Like, I get day one is quite a perk, but at the same time, it almost feels like I've seen the comment of obviously with CODs coming up, and we know that's going to Game Pass. It's like obviously they know more game. They're clearly going to have more and more games being day one on Game Pass.
Yeah,
I think the bigger strange thing really is. Like, I'm not complaining because I'm on PC, but like we get it way cheaper than an Xbox person, and it's like I'm not even buying a freaking console.
So I've got Game Pass Ultimate because I have my Xbox still, which does get used. Not as often as I should, but that's gonna be changing soon. But also, then prices aren't reflective to us because in my head I was like, Jesus Christ, $20. I might have to reevaluate whether I'm going to keep getting that. But I've realised mine is actually only going from $12.99 to $14.99. So I'm like, 15 quid actually, that's not too bad. So they're teetering on the edge of, does it make sense? What am I going to get for this additional money?
Yeah,
I think the price hike was inevitable, and I'm surprised it actually took this long. I mean, think of how many games are coming day one that we've had within the last year or two, and still coming out. I think the quality of games, obviously, they got to make their money back somehow, realistically, haven't they?
Oh yeah, and like everyone has always said, like it's a steal. Like if you actually play
it's
all
the
the
best
games
value
that
in
come
gaming,
out,
without a doubt.
Yeah. What more surprised me is like, because isn't Game Pass Ultimate? You've got it because it's Xbox and PC, right?
Yes.
What baffles me is there isn't just an Xbox version option.
Yeah, so that I think that's a big amount of the complaint is, so I've got to get Game Pass Ultimate because they got rid of Xbox Live.
Yeah.
So Game Pass Ultimate now covers that like online feature as well, I think, which is why there's no. But yeah, for 15 quid, if I didn't have access to Starfield on my PC and any other Xbox games I wanted for my PC, I'd be livid. Because I'm like, what, I'm paying 15 quid a month for my Xbox, which I'm going to buy games I really want separately anyway.
But then we're getting this new tier.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Which
I feel
sounds like what you think it should be, or but no day one.
And
here's
then
there's a weird caveat to that as well.
They should make the new one the same price as PC,
but Xbox only.
Or it's like, if you want a not, they're obviously trying to hit like here's a cheaper option for people, because that's what all the streaming services and everyone are trying to do. They're trying to give you a cheaper option, and in streaming it's ads they give you. And
so here's the thing with the prices. I don't like it. Fuck corporations, but logically I see what they're doing here. They don't have control over any of the PC market realistically, so they've really got to sweeten the deal to get people to use them. Yeah. Which is why that's dirt cheap, so that people go, you know what, that's worth it.
I mean, it gets me in there. I don't have an Xbox, and I pay monthly for Game Pass just for the day one titles. Yeah.
But people who are already on an Xbox, they're inside the walled garden. And what's the chances? Because it's not like PlayStation's dirt cheap either. What are the chances that at $15 without day one, or $20 overall, that you're going to be like, fuck this, I'm going to go buy a PlayStation? Because even by selling your Xbox and buying a used PlayStation, you're probably going to be out 50 odd quid anyway, and then you still have to buy PlayStation's equivalent of it, which is like £10 a month or whatever anyway, £15 a month. So there's always a danger if too many Xbox gamers decide to do that, the PlayStation do the same thing, and everyone just runs back to Xbox, and then you just get this flip-flopping stuff.
Back and forth, yeah. It's just a £15 new one without day one titles is confusing me, because you would have thought they'd be bringing out a new one that would cater to the casuals because of COD coming out. A lot, like, we know loads of people that just play COD and FIFA every year. They're not like diverse gamers. So you would have thought they would try to lure them in with, but then because it appears to be the casual one, but then they won't be getting COD because it won't be day one. So it's just a strange one.
It's just really like, so I can get day one on PC for less, but if I'm on Xbox, I can't. But
also, does this not fuck with their branding a little bit? Because they called it Game Pass Standard, and that doesn't get day one titles. And at all of their like keynotes for the last 2 years, it's been play it day one with
play
Game
it day
Pass.
one with Game Pass.
That branding is now useless because someone you're gonna get a mum with a
You are.
12-year-old
Who doesn't
kid
read the fine print.
who's like, oh look, the Fable's coming out. I want to play Fable. Play it day one with Game Pass. You get the Game Pass standard, and you can't play it day one.
They'll just go, yeah, but look here in the fine print, it says you need Game Pass.
I know,
also.
but you're gonna make some enemies
but...
with that behaviour though, and that's really not what Xbox can afford to do.
Xbox has been making enemies for years. Don't worry.
I've just thought of a counterpoint as well to my argument I was making about sort of luring people in to get Game Pass for COD. I think the people that are going to be playing COD and FIFA would rather spend $70 flat out rather than paying the $19.99 each month.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to play the other games. So it'd just be a waste of time. I think they'd rather play the flat out fee and play it all year long.
Yes and no. Because I think some people, it's the age of thing. It's like, oh, I can play COD for. I think more people will get the Game Pass version because, let's be honest, COD players know COD's not always great. We always excited for the next one. We're like, yes, it's going to be different this time. And then 1-2 months in, they're like, this COD's rubbish.
I think that's because we're in that sphere. You got to think how many numbers COD sells. It's the biggest selling game in US and UK every year. I think we're in a minority. I think people that play COD every year are going to buy.
So a year of Game Pass Ultimate is 180 quid. A AAA game's what, 65 quid now, 70 quid?
65, 70 quid, yeah.
So all you've got to do is get 3 AAA games on day one that you want to play, and it probably makes more sense to go Game Pass, or at least equal sense to go Game Pass, as long as you know it's not like a game that's just going to disappear at a moment's notice, which is a whole different issue. But Game Pass has got a good record of not just like luring people in with a game and it disappearing really quickly. And with them owning more studios, like all of Bethesda's games are going to be on there forever. They're not going to pull their own game. The COD games will be on
the
there.
CODs, yep.
FIFA goes on in normally February each year. Madden goes on normally in about February each year. Which means you're going to get half a year of Madden, which if you're like me and in them games you don't do Ultimate Team, just do career mode, you're like, sweet, I'm never paying for that fucking game again. So it's still a good value proposition, but they are definitely at the point where if the amount of games and the range of games doesn't continue to improve a little bit, there are going to be some people who are like, I only played like 3 games this year and they were indie games that were 15 quid each. I could have saved myself money.
Yeah. It's just weird with the whole PC one being mixed in there for less.
Yeah. That is the big problem that they might
Sorry, we're feasting.
annoy
we are
with.
till they turn around and go,
Actually, hang on a minute.
We're gonna up this to $20, and I'll be like, right, bye, I'm back to Steam I go.
Which brings me on to my final point on this topic. How much is the maximum that you'd be willing to pay? Bearing in mind the amount of day one titles we get.
Is that assuming the amount of content and like the caliber of content we're currently getting is what it is? It doesn't improve, doesn't get worse.
Yep.
They could probably squeeze £1 or £2 more out of me.
Yeah.
Before it's a real discussion of, do I just cancel it when there's nothing I want to play and then re-up?
Binge it all in a month, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I probably could go, like, I would probably keep paying up to like $15 because that's what, 12 quid-ish.
Yeah.
I think because of like, knowing how much I play off Game Pass, if it goes, like, if it jumps at like, Game Pass Ultimate price or something, then I'm like, this isn't worth it anymore. Like, maybe I'll pay for a month, but
if it was to go up to like 18 quid a month, and I don't see anything coming out for the next 18 months I want, I'm telling you right now, I'd buy Starfield game code dirt cheap for my PC. So, because that's the only game that I'm like regularly using on Game Pass at the minute. I spend a month binging the Game Pass games that I've got downloaded on my Xbox to get them all done, and then I cancel it until there's a game I want to play. And even then, if I don't see enough games, I might just revert to buying the games I want to play. They are right on that edge. Yeah, they're right on that edge. So at the minute, I sort of losing it all.
Build up my backlog a little bit, buy a month's of Game Pass, and then sort of smash out them games. Because for me, it was literally like you were both saying there. There's not enough games that hook me because I'd rather just play them on PlayStation, or they're already on PS Plus because I pay for PS Plus yearly. So it all depends on what comes out. You can have slow months, busy months. Like July, for example, there would have been absolutely nothing to play. So
yeah.
And finally, discussion of the pod. This is one that I carried over from our Discord discussion that we had yesterday or the day before, because I thought it was a really fun, interesting one. And it is, what is the best controller ever? So we was doing some like mini tier lists in our Discord chat. Obviously, there were some people making jokes, such as yourself. What do you genuinely think is, how many should we do? The best controller, and then like a top 5, maybe.
360 it's not even close. There are other good controllers. The 360 is the greatest controller of all time for a number of reasons. The extra stiffness on the thumbsticks meant I had a 360 for what, 8-9 years. I got stick drift once in that entire time. I'm on my maybe 10th or 11th modern Xbox controller, so Xbox One through to Series X, because I get stick drift. It's insanity. The caliber has dropped off so much in that regard. The only problem was the rubber on the thumbsticks on them wasn't as durable, and it would wear away more from the oilier skins. But other than that, like, nothing compares.
Oh yeah, 360 is by far the best. I mean, I had my current controller for my PC, if I ever need to use a controller, is a third-party Xbox 360 one that I'd got years ago, because my original Xbox 360 eventually the thumbsticks wore out. And even this one hasn't got stick drift, but the thumbstick is wearing out. They're just the comfiest and
the
easiest.
shape. I don't think anything will ever fit in your controller as nicely as a 360 controller did. Just the thought of playing like FIFA 13, I had a lime green. I ordered like the shell off eBay, took it apart, put like pink thumbsticks on it, had some like mold, and it was just the best controller.
There's certain like older controllers for specific games. Like if I've ever played Smash Bros, even if it's on like Wii or any of the new Nintendo ones, I would always rather go back to a GameCube controller, or if I can, an N64. But generally, GameCube is like the most enjoyable. There's certain games where, at least in Nintendo's realm, the newer ones are, I wish they would go back to a proper controller sometimes. Like I get the Joy-Cons and the Wii, like, because of the way the system that they have, but I do miss.
So like, you can buy N64 controllers for the Switch. I believe they're like sold out. It was something that dropped last year or the year before. I don't think they've done a GameCube one. Someone will have to.
They did GameCube on Wii.
Third-party one.
They did a GameCube one for Wii, and that sold like the same, sold out so fast because people are like, because it's to get a GameCube one now, like you have to buy like a pre-owned one. Obviously, then it's
on eBay. Yeah,
who knows how long it's going to last.
Switch controllers annoy me because I'm on my second Switch. I had the day one Switch. I've now got an OLED. I haven't had it myself because I don't actually really use my Switch that much unless like a big Pokemon game or something comes out. They are very, very prone to stick drift.
Yes.
I have got like 3 pairs of Joy-Cons, I think, so I can luckily rotate between them. But I can imagine kids who are using it a lot might go through a lot of Joy-Cons.
So my friends...
I don't know how we're not using Hall Effect joysticks and everything in 2024. They're not that much more expensive anymore.
Yeah, but it's got to be a cost for them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I bought...
my friend has a Switch and four Joy-Cons, and I think 2 or 3 of them have stick drift.
Yeah, crazy. I bought this third-party Xbox controller, officially licensed one, that has Hall Effect joysticks. Obviously, it has other areas. It's not quite as good, but this is the exact same price. And bearing in mind, I literally use this for sports games. As long as the buttons don't like stop responding, this controller will hopefully last me fucking ages.
As long as you need it to, yeah.
The price for you will be the same. I bet the margin is less than what Xbox's margin is they gain off the.
Quite possibly, but I think a big problem with the quality of controllers getting worse is also they've gone from being 30 quid for a new controller to being 50 or 60 quid now.
Yep.
So, and that happened at the same time. It was like, oh, controllers are getting a bit shit now, and then they're like, extra £20, please. It's like, whoa.
How much is a set of Joy-Cons set you back? Say like you're a family, 50, 55, 60 quid for a new set of Joy-Cons.
That is
If you want like
if
a
you don't get
special,
like, if you don't get
like
limited
special
one.
like so it's the Super Mario ones, 89 quid. I don't know if that's resale
That's
value or if they're
horrendous.
like special edition.
I
But
don't
like,
even know
imagine
if there
kids
is.
and families having to go through.
Is there like third-party ones that have the better?
Yes, Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny uses a brand whose name is escaping, but they've got like the bumpers are sort of further down and there's
Okay.
less stick drift. I can't. The brand is escaping me, but apparently they are much
That's
better.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's an abundance.
Yeah, the same as.
And then obviously you got the whole Pro controller. I've never used a Scuff. I had an Xbox Elite controller, like the series, the first model, not the second one. I got that for
they
Christmas
were poor.
years ago.
They were really poor.
I really like. It's probably like the best because that was when I was playing COD on console. It was during World War II, and I loved that controller. The only gripe I had is that the grip on the back would peel away.
It was solid when it worked, but the problem is once it went like 1%, it just disintegrated in days. By the time that my Xbox Elite was dying, one of the triggers didn't work at all. The face buttons weren't responsive regularly, and the stick drift was outrageous.
Yeah, I remember my stick drift. I can't remember if it was left or my right because when I got my PC, I was using my Elite controller and I was playing Rocket League, and my camera just straight down every time I got into a lobby.
Yeah, it cannot run.
I'll tell you what my actual best controller is. It's the mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard. Oh, is that a controller?
Control things.
It's so situational for games because think of like Minecraft. So much better on keyboard and mouse.
Oh yeah.
Like FPS.
Very
split. I'm not going to comment on that.
The only games that I find easier on a controller is sport games.
Any sport game is like not even playable on keyboard and mouse, in my opinion.
And I would say, obviously, driving games for sure, but obviously, then I'd rather have a wheel than a controller. Then it's like some story games that are clearly like games that are very much the way they've been made is for a console, but they've been ported to PC. Sometimes it is better to just play them on a controller because the way they are set up just works better.
A lot of story games say that I get on PC that are on Game Pass, for example, like Guardians. I was originally going to play that on Game Pass, but I would have still plugged my controller. GTA, again, on PC, I plugged my controller.
Oh, I played keyboard mouse GTA.
So it's just situational, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to lean towards controller because I was a controller gamer just for so long. But yeah, some games are just better with keyboard and mouse, and some games like if you try, like you said, sports games. If I see anyone trying to load up FIFA
on a keyboard
mouse
and
and keyboard, yeah, you need shooting.
I've tried it once where because I play FC24 on PC, it'd be like when your controller disconnects, reverts you to keyboard and mouse. I still to this day, it's happened so many times, and I still don't know buttons. I could not tell you what it just makes zero sense to me. But if I was a nostalgia merchant, I'd probably say 360 is my favorite. I think 360 is my favorite. I think DualSense is the best. I don't think I've used a controller that is better than the PS5 controller. I've got three. So I got a PS5 on day one. One of the bumpers. No, one of the right trigger has gone. Do you remember when we were playing Helldivers? Like a spring just fell out the back.
Oh
the
yeah.
The haptics were so strong on the shooting of Helldivers, it broke. But I would have had like 4 years of solid use.
I
just
like
love
the DualSense 5. My issue with PlayStation controllers, is probably from being an Xbox game for so long, is how like sharp this angle is. Doesn't sit as nicely in my hand as something that's molded more like an Xbox shape.
I also don't like the PlayStation bumpers and triggers. I prefer Xboxes. So,
again, I think something that's going to influence. It's just what you're used to at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was an Xbox kid, so it's like any time I pick up a PlayStation controller, I'm like, this feels weird. I don't like this.
Because I went from PS1 to PS2 to PS3, and then 360, Xbox One, skipped PS4, but still had one in like the living room that was like a family one. And the PS4 is the worst controller for anyone's. PS4 controllers are absolutely terrible. They don't feel nice. They're really light and they don't feel sturdy. Just the shape of them's horrible. I'd prefer a PS3 controller. Absolutely terrible. I'm trying to think what other controllers like N64, like you say. I'll tell you what's a bad controller: the Switch Pro controller.
Yeah. Oh no, boys, you're forgetting the most famous terrible controller. The Steam controller they released fucking years ago.
I think he's going to say the Logitech one where the submarine.
Do you know what I thought you were going to say? The Mad Catz like third-party ones where they've got all the extra buttons and shit on them.
The Stream controller that had like the touchpad instead of the analog stick on the right-hand side.
Let me have a look at this.
So, I actually know that's a lie. I've used it once when I was in uni. For a certain very specific situations, that actually felt fine.
Yeah, I remember.
But for like 90% of games, it was horrible to use.
It felt like a menu controller. It felt like a controller literally just designed for menus.
Can you still buy it? Is it still for sale?
I think you can. I think you can.
It was meant for, because it was around the time they launched Steam Big Picture Mode, which was like for when you have Steam on your TV. So it was meant to be so you could do menus and stuff a lot easier. It's one of those where it's like it's for a very niche situation. Because
I don't know who thought the trackpad instead of the analog stick on the right hand side was the way to go though.
And then I think
it was a bad decision.
The final controller I'm going to discuss doesn't get the love it deserves. The Wiimote. It is just Wiimote and nunchuck combo. Mario and Sonic.
Best way to do Mario Kart. People were like, "No, I want the wheel." I'm like, "No, give me the nunchuck. I want joystick. It's so much better."
It just felt like cheating, though, didn't it?
Yeah,
it's so accurate in comparison. But I just think
the Wiimotes were fun.
I think the Wii, where it was so new, it was so exciting to have motion controls. You had it like briefly in the PS3, like sort of you could go left and right, playing like racing games. And but the Wii was a whole new.
Yeah. Then you got the Kinect.
Yeah, Kinect, iToy. They're all technically controllers, I suppose, aren't they?
Some crazy ones are out there. But I think that's all we've got time for this week, Josh.
Indeed,
Thanks as always for dropping in with us and hanging out.
No worries,
and we'll see you back in a month.